Anyway, when setting up a website, it's become the norm to run several words together for the name, such as myexwifesdress.com. This can have deeply unfortunate side effects, however, and give quite a different impression of what the website is for. Such mistakes are called slurls, and on the line is Andy Geldman, author of Slurls. They call their website what? Afternoon, Andy.
Hi, Sean.
Could you start by giving us a few examples of the sorts of things you're talking about in the book?
I can. Some of the examples are a bit rude, so I'll leave those ones out and give you the clean ones.
Okay.
I've got one which is the website of a company called Effective Office Environments, and I think they've tried to be quite clever by shortening that, but they've called their website effoff.com. E-double-F-O-double-F.
And give us another one.
Okay, the sports team of Marist College in New York, their mascot and the name of the sports team is the Red Foxes, and so they've been really exuberant and enthusiastic, and they've called their website GoRedFoxes.com. Which sounds like you don't like foxes very much.
Oh, right, just see what you mean, yeah. And presumably most of the URLs you've come across have been inadvertent.
Yes, yeah, the vast majority, almost all of them. You do get the odd people who are playing a deliberate pun, but a lot of the websites, when they they realise the double meaning, they change the name. Many also don't change the name, surprisingly.
And why wouldn't they change the name?
Technically, it's easy to change the name of your website. It's a bit more difficult when you're an established business and you've got signs and letters and business cards and things. And I think a lot of them are probably just a bit stubborn about it and don't want to admit that they've got a pretty awful double meaning in the name.
But I suppose it depends how bad the double meaning is.
It does.
And when you were researching this book, did you contact the people who were in charge of these websites and point out what they were called?
No, I didn't. My focus was on the humour of the thing. So, these are public websites anyway, so I was just pointing out something that exists. I wasn't going out of my way to mock them or anything like that. Some of them have been contacted by the Sunday Times recently, and it was a little surprising that they generally didn't realise that there was a double meaning and didn't feel the need to change it. For example, there's a site called Choose Spain. So,
which is actually choose pain.
Chooses pain, yeah. So it's quite, depending on your opinion, that could be quite fitting.
Well, it could be, but I would imagine a lot of the traffic they mightn't be people looking for a nice holiday in Spain.
No, maybe a different kind of holiday.
Yes, indeed, if you could call that a holiday. And they decided it was too late to change it, so they just had to stick with it.
Yeah, that's what they said. Slightly odd-sounding thing to say, but technically it's not difficult. But yeah, they decided that was okay. There's a lady who runs a dog grooming business in Warwickshire, over here in England, and she chose for the name, completely logical, Doggy Styles. And it makes sense. And she said she didn't realise, and she only found out that it wasn't such a clear name, and she thought when she Googled it and found lots of different kinds of websites.
Sometimes can the malapropism be because the people who are establishing the website perhaps don't speak English as a first language and don't realise what they've put in?
Well, what I've done in the book is I've set out a number of rules that the Slurls have to pass. And one of them is that it has to be an English language website, because that does seem a bit unfair. There are a few out there that are non-English language and are pretty funny as well. But no, one of my rules is it has to be in English language. I have found several which are from countries where English isn't the first language, but the website's in English, so I think that's fair game. For example, I've got one from Norway, it's the shortest one I've ever found, the shortest one in the book, and it's simply o.no. Oh no. That's a holiday park in Norway, and OH is the initials of the park's name. So perfectly logical, but in English, oh no.
Oh no, oh yeah. And how did you find them? You must have spent just months trawling through the internet.
I did spend a long time. They're very hard to find because you don't know what you're looking for. If you try and think one up, it's generally not going to work out. So I have a website which is slurls.com where people submit them. That's the best way, really. And I have in the past trawled discussion forums and blogs and anywhere I could find people talking about these kind of websites to try and pick up another one or two new ones.
So you would have got a wee bit of help.
Absolutely. I always need help in finding them because, especially now when I've found so many, if I go looking, I find the same ones over and over.
So presumably if somebody registers a website name, there's no one with the website they register it with to say, well, you do know what the other meaning of this is, to point it out to them?
No. There's no one there. There's no one that does that. There's an interesting case, actually. In one case, they do that, and that's the Cook Islands. Now, I'm not going to say the word, but the international two-letter abbreviation for the Cook Islands is CK.
Right.
And the Cook Islands, like the UK, have decided that they need a second level. So in the UK, we have .co.uk. So in the Cook Islands, they decided to do the same thing, and they got .co.ck. Right. And so big companies like Google and Budget Car Rental have all got websites with that .co.ck on them. But if you go to the Cook Islands and try and register something obscene, they will turn you down.
Yes, I think you had one that was Pen Island as well, and when you run all that together, it gives you a completely different meaning as well.
Pen Island, it does. That's actually, it's sort of infamous on certain discussion forums on the internet, and I'm 99% sure it's actually a complete hoax. I did try and order some pens from them once, and didn't get a reply because I don't think they sell pens. It's someone who's set that up purely to have a funny URL.
God knows what they sell then. Really.
There's advertisements on the site.
So I suppose that's going to be if you continue on with this is going to be a difficulty for you, that people will be trying to set up fake ones to get into your book.
Possibly, but I'm all up for that. If people want to go to the difficulty of setting up a website just for that purpose, then go for it. It's the hoaxes. There aren't many hoaxes. I know of 3, and you have to do a little bit of work to spot them, but it generally doesn't take a lot of effort to realise they're fake.
I particularly like a collective of art designers, which they set up as Speed of Art, which of course can also be pronounced as speedofart.com. Lovely to talk to you today, Andy. Thanks very much for doing so. Andy Geldman is the author of Slurls. They call their website what? Andy, thanks a million.
Oh, thanks very much.
And even as we've been talking, people have been sending in examples of this. Apparently there's a website where experts in IT swap information, Experts Exchange, though of course I could also read as Expert Sex Change. There's one for if you want to look up who a celebrity's agent might be. It's called Who Represents, though that's also Whore Presents. And we did find an Irish example of this. It's an Irish website where they take pictures of people and their dogs. But unfortunately, it's called shootmydog.com. We'll be back with the news.
Moncrieff on Newstalk 106 to 108.